Adam, where are we with Bo Nix, you think, in terms of being an NFL quarterback? What do you think the perspective is?
I still feel comfortable and confident that he's going to make it. I mean, I really do. But Scotty's feeling pretty good right now about this, right? And he hasn't progressed this season the way that I think Broncos fans would hope. And I look at that quarterback draft class, and it seems like everybody but Caleb Williams is taking some lumps there. Shaden Daniels has had a rough season so far. Drake May's been pretty good. Michael Penix, tough. Bo Nix, tough. JJ McCarthy, tough, right? Like, hasn't been a stellar, great year for that quarterback draft.
Caleb Williams had a tough year last year, so maybe that was, his progression from a tough there last year to maybe he's starting to step up. And some say the game he played last week was just unbelievable.
Well, it was a great game. It was his best pro game, but it also was against the Dallas Cowboys, and their defense is leaking yards and touchdown passes and everything like that. But it doesn't change the fact that Caleb played great. There were some throws there that not a lot of guys can make, right?
Hey, who do you think are who are our candidates for wild card spots this year in the AFC?
Well, we're comfortable giving the East to the Bills, right? After 3 games, you feel good about that.
Yep.
The North, somebody will win, but I don't expect there to be a wild card in that division, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the South could produce multiple. It could produce multiple playoff teams. That's possible.
I guess where I'm getting at, I think you're saying the same thing. If there's a glass half full approach for the Broncos right now, I don't think there's a ton of competition for the wild card spots this year.
I'll say this to you: the AFC has been the big bad conference for a long time now. Like, you've had the Ravens playing at a high level, and the Chiefs playing at a high level, and the Bills playing at a high level. The Steelers have been tough. It feels like the AFC right now, through 3 games, for whatever that's worth, it doesn't feel like the conference is quite as tough as it was in other years. And the NFC is loaded. Like, I could give you 5 powerhouses in the NFC to me: Philly, Green Bay, Detroit, Tampa, the Rams. You'll agree those are 5 really good teams?
Really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
And now I haven't even mentioned Washington, San Francisco, Minnesota, Seattle. Like, the NFC is loaded, more so than the AFC this year.
Hey, let me ask you this. We saw another one of these injuries in the Bronco game. Why is the new injury du jour seem to be torn Achilles? It seems like we're seeing an inordinate amount of those over the last few seasons. In the NBA also, to be honest with you.
Who tore his ACL, the Achilles in the Broncos game last week?
The running back, Najee Harris.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. I just think that these happen every year. And he's playing on the SoFi field turf, played his career on grass, Pittsburgh. I don't know why, like, these guys are so big and strong and fast, and these are non-contact injuries.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, Scott. I don't know that it's any more. It's just that when you got a running back on a winning team, you notice it a little bit more, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. It just, to me, and listen, I tore my Achilles 8, 9, 10 years ago. And so when I see a guy go down and how he's pushing off, I'm the announcers, well, we got to see what the MRI says. No, you don't. You see that big thing that just rolled up in the back of the leg? That's torn Achilles.
I mean, listen, I think just from a reporting standpoint, everybody knows, like, when you see the word Achilles, player ruled out Achilles, and it's not, I think we all know what happened. But you be that one isolated example where they go in and for whatever reason, maybe it's not torn. But I think every time a player goes down, Achilles, you just expect it to be a torn Achilles until it's confirmed. But we always expect it. How did you tear your Achilles, Scott?
Yeah. Well, I stepped back, kind of like Najee was right ready to blow through the hole. I stepped back thinking I could lift an 800-pound shed over my head, and that didn't really work.
Shed over your head?
Yeah, duh.
What do you think? You're the mountain?
Yeah, I was trying to lift up this shed that probably went between 800 and 1,000. I thought I could at least lift it a quarter of an inch to get up over a lip. And all of a sudden,
And how did it feel? How did your was it
hurt right away, and then because I tore it completely across, then the pain was gone. But the initial snap, ouch, and then after I blacked out, I was okay.
Did you black out?
Oh, I did.
Wow. It's why I stopped playing basketball. Not that I would have made any kind of mark playing pickup basketball, but I see guys my age, their 40s and the 50s, playing pickup
Doing all the time.
What are we doing here?
Every time, old man injuries. All right, see, now you're starting to worry about old man. All right, let me get back to football right here. We're almost. I know they got 17 games, but literally this week now, we'll get to basically the quarter post of the NFL season, which is amazing to sit there and go, we've now played a quarter of the games. I mean, that's always a high water mark for me right there. Is there anybody on either side, good or bad, that has surprised you in this start?
Oh, the Indianapolis Colts, surprise team so far, 3-0, in part thanks to the Denver Broncos. But they are 3-0, and Daniel Jones has been one of the stories of the NFL season. And I think that the loser of the Ravens-Chiefs game will be a surprise to me because they'll be 1-3.
Yeah,
whoever that is.
Crazy.
And both teams you didn't expect to be in the spot, but here they are. Houston Texans 0-3. That's a little surprising to me. So there are some teams out there that you're looking at right now saying, yeah, good, bad, surprising, but that's the case every year.
We went over it yesterday, Adam. This is pretty interesting. And Dan, maybe you can help me out here with the exact numbers. But there is a crazy statistical difference with Sean Payton's win-loss percentage in the first month of the season, the second month of the season. And it's roughly, and I don't know, Dan, if you got the exact numbers. I know Nate and Andy had it, but it was more or less 500 for his career, Adam, in the first month of the season. But in the second month of the season, Sean Payton is
like 38-13.
Wildly successful. I mean, like bizarrely successful in the second month of the season. I do find that a fascinating trend. Like, I understand teams change, but isn't that kind of interesting that a coach would have that record with no matter what team he coached? And sure enough, his record with the Broncos is somewhat similar. What do you think you can attribute that to, specifically with Sean Payton as a coach?
I'd love to hear his answer to that, because if he's going to answer it thoroughly and honestly, it probably would be really interesting, because when he gets rolling, he's fascinating to listen to. My guess off the top of my head is I think it reflects positively and speaks positively to how he thinks as a coach, because he adjusts from there and can the necessary adjustments to improve. Whereas I always remembered Mike Shanahan, if you looked at his record at the start of the season, he always killed it in September.
Yeah. Let me give you the specific numbers. In September, thank you, Dan, 24-20 as a career as a coach in the month of September. October for Sean Payton. For October, 38-13.
Right. Well, again, I think he adjusts, adapts, figures out what works and what doesn't, and makes the necessary adjustment. That's my non-exos off the top of my head guess. But like I started to tell you, Mike Shanahan, he would script these things all summer. Like, he'd study the first few opponents. He was so smart that he'd be so out ahead of these things on these that if you looked up Mike Shanahan's record in September, I'll bet you it's similar to Sean's in October.
Yeah, I would.
Okay,
I bet it is. I would agree with that.
Yep.
Hey, we got news the other day, and you saw a lot of his career when you were with the Post here. Were you at the Post or the Rocky Mountain?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, there you go. Make a case for us real fast for Rod Smith, who's nominated again for the Hall of Fame. Make a case for us real fast for Rod Smith, the Hall of Famer.
Well, Rod Smith is one of the great undrafted free agent stories. Was he undrafted? Was he
undrafted? He's undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
Undrafted free. Is he the all-time leading receiver in Broncos history?
Came from the practice squad.
Well, again, there is a Hall of Fame tight end who was a great receiver in the Hall of Fame who played for Denver. And Rod Smith has more receptions than Shannon Sharpe.
Yep.
Rod Smith was as much of a self-made man, self-made football player as any player I've covered in the National Football League in 35 years. He came from a spot where you wouldn't necessarily expect or count on anything, and worked so hard and cared so much and willed himself to be one of the great players in Broncos franchise history. I would hope that that's enough for the Hall of Fame, Pro Football. I don't know that it's enough for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he was incredible. Did a great. I'd love to see him go in. As much as he'd like to razz me, I still would be rooting for him to go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he always had a very analytical, thoughtful, business type of mind. Hard worker.
Yep.
His very first catch was a Hail Mary against Washington
Yep.
from John beat the then Redskins on the final play. That was his first NFL catch. There aren't many players who have had more meaningful first NFL receptions. There aren't many players who have had as many receptions. There aren't many players who led their league or led their team franchise history. There aren't many players who have caught game-deciding touchdown passes in Super Bowls the way that he did in Super Bowl 33. Like, I can give you a case for him. I just did.
Yep. And, oh, by the way, 2 Super Bowl rings.
2 Super Bowl rings. Pretty good.